WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. Controversy that is brewing at the state capitol after some state leaders disagree that Governor Tate Reeves is in charge of distributing the $1.25 billion from the CARES Act. The Mississippi legislature will reconvene tomorrow at 1. Representative Kabir Kareem says the Speaker of the House called expressing urgency for members to return to Jackson. Kareem says there's confusion regarding the CARES Act and state leaders are at odds over who is in charge of distributing the funds. He says it's a battle between a piece of legislation that came out while the House wasn't in session.
The legislature has a constitution responsibility to allocate the funds. So again, there's going to be some wranglings, and it's going to be interesting to see how this all unfolds.
He says until he's seen a piece of legislation, he can't comment on which side that he is on. 246 new cases of COVID-19 are being reported today. This brings the total confirmed cases to just over 6,800. Most of those are in the 40 to 49 age range. There are also 11 new deaths, bringing the total up to 261. Health Department data shows most deaths are in the 80 to 89 age range. The State Health Department estimates about 3,400 Mississippians have recovered from the virus and 66,000 have been tested. Some North Mississippians are finding they cannot afford health insurance purchased through the Affordable Care Act. A local insurance agent says her clients have lost tax credits to cover the premiums, and getting help and answers has been a struggle.
It's time to stop penalizing people that are working for their health insurance premium.
As owner of G-Force Insurance Team, Jimmy McKee helps people get health insurance. Many of her clients get their health insurance through the Affordable Care Act, also known as the Marketplace. Tax credits are available based on a person's income and household size to help pay the premiums. But McKee says many of her clients have recently lost their tax credits and cannot afford the insurance premiums.
I have 3 people that are crucial. They need the health insurance. One is diabetic. The other one, she's taking chemo. She's a cancer patient.
McKee says the clients have submitted required paperwork to Health Sherpa, a company that connects people to health coverage through the ACA, but many times the paperwork never makes it through. Tony Johnson, office manager at G-Force Insurance Team, knows firsthand the frustration of trying to submit documents to enroll in the ACA.
They wanted me to upload my daughter's birth certificate so that I could prove that she was a natural citizen. I ended up having to upload her birth certificate 5 times. Don't know why. Yeah. They just, the paperwork was not getting to where it needed to be.
And Johnson and McKee say getting answers from Health Sherpa or the ACA's website, healthcare.gov, has been increasingly frustrating during the coronavirus pandemic.
I can't believe the government has thought about everything else. They didn't think to stop cutting off people's subsidies to pay for their premium.
We reached out to the Mississippi Insurance Department to see if they could offer any help or guidance to those who have lost the ability to pay their insurance premiums. A spokesperson said they're reviewing our questions and promised to get back with us soon. In Tupelo, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
G-Force Insurance Team will soon start regular Facebook Live chats to talk with those who have lost their tax credits for health insurance. Alabama's unemployment numbers continue to climb, and COVID-19 is to blame for most of those claims. From April 19th through April 25th, more than 74,000 claims were filed. More than 62,000 of those were related to COVID-19. Alabama reached a peak of claims back on April 4th, which totaled more than 106,000 people filing for help. Lamar County saw 108 claims and Pickens County had 192. A TUPELO marketing firm is showing its appreciation for money received under the Paycheck Protection Program by helping other small businesses. Robinson Marketing is offering free consulting for businesses preparing to reopen after the coronavirus lockdown. The company was able to keep paying employees because of the Paycheck Protection Program.
One of the real challenges is to let people know that you're back open for business. The other is, what are your customers going to ask for when you are open for business? We've been doing things differently for about 6 weeks now, and certain things people have gotten used to. The other thing too is, do the product lines that you have now match what the customer's needs are? And this is a very key portion to that.
The free business consulting services are available during the month of May.
It's been a stunning day weather-wise as we close out the month of April. Live view at Durham's Pharmacy in Vernon, Alabama. Look at all that blue sky. Some friendly clouds out there, but that's really about it. In addition to those breezes, but the wind will relax here this evening and temperatures will cool down as well. But right now we've got low 70s out there. Look at this, 46 degrees for our low tonight. Some of you could be a little bit warmer than that, but really cool or chilly for this time of year. Our planner in Tupelo tomorrow, and we can just copy and paste this across the board here. We start out at 8 o'clock in the 50s by the afternoon, upper 70s. It's looking great. I'm back with your weekend forecast in just a few minutes.
A Starkville native who now lives in Texas is recovering from COVID-19. Ashley Brown and her family traveled to Europe in March. On the return trip, she says they stood in line for more than 5 hours to get screened by the CDC. Days later, she developed what she thought were spring allergy symptoms.
I started getting extremely tired, shortness of breath, chest being very tight. I also started getting dizzy, and then eventually I ended up losing my sense of smell and taste. That third week, I felt like I was never gonna get better. I'll just be honest with you. I remember turning to my husband and saying, I don't feel I'll ever feel better, because I couldn't get out of bed. I was sleeping 14-hour days.
Now you can hear Andrea Self's full conversation with Ashley Brown tomorrow at 9 a.m. on Mid-Morning with Andrea. Mississippi University for Women is working on a way to reopen in the fall. Members of the Campus Renewal Task Force are developing a plan to bring students back on campus after the COVID-19 pandemic. They will look at issues such as the health and well-being of staff and students, academics, and student activities as they create guidelines. The first teleconference meeting is tomorrow. Now, that MUW Campus Renewal Task Force will implement a few changes for students returning this fall. Classroom rosters will shrink and student activities may have to wait. Our Stephanie Poole joins us live from MUW and has more on what students can expect.
That's right, Joey. Empty parking lots and bare parking lots. MUW's campus has been this way since the pandemic first began. Now they're ready to invite students back. President NORA Miller says the board has been developing the best way students can be on campus and stay protected.
This task force will be meeting over the next couple of weeks to determine, what measures would move us into a certain phase. When is it going to be safe for people to come back to campus to work? When will it be, how can we accommodate people who may be at higher risk and they may be concerned about being exposed to anything?
University President NORA Miller says her board will analyze scenarios to help fit student needs and safety during the semester. The first step is reducing classroom capacity to practice social distancing.
We have a small, 13-to-1 student-faculty ratio. So having small classes will make things a lot easier for us than some larger institutions will have to deal with. If someone is running a fever or is showing symptoms, they can still participate in the class remotely while the rest of the class takes place physically.
LYDIA HOLLAND is MUW's student body president. She hopes all the changes will be an easy transition.
The W is like one big family. So as students begin to make that transition to come back to the W, I'm sure we'll be afforded all the opportunities and the information necessary for us to make that accommodation.
How can we accommodate students in the residence halls
Now, there will be 2 phases regarding faculty, staff, and students' return. Faculty and staff will return during the summer months. The date for students will be announced at a later date. The Safe Start Task Force, made up universities representatives from Mississippi's colleges and universities, will meet tonight to discuss safe ways to open up the campuses. But for now, reporting live in MUW campus, Stephanie Poole, WCBI News.
Your Netflix binge-watching session may feature some familiar faces and places. We have a preview when we come back.
You're watching WCBI's News at 6 with Joey Barnes.
Welcome back, everyone. It's been more than a decade since LaVon Brooks and Kennedy Brewer were cleared of capital murder and sexual battery charges. Their wrongful convictions are the focus of a new Netflix documentary, The Innocence Files. Brooks was accused of breaking into a Noxubee County home in September of 1990 and killing a 3-year-old girl. In May of 1992, Brewer was accused of murdering his girlfriend's 3-year-old daughter. Brooks served 16 years in prison. Brewer spent 13 years on death row. In 2008, both men were exonerated after another man, Justin Johnson, confessed to both crimes. Brooks passed away in 2018. Brewer still lives in Noxubee County. And the Netflix documentary was released earlier this month. WCBI spoke exclusively with Brewer about the new series. He says he's happy the Innocence Project approached him about telling his story. Brewer says he wants everyone to know his truth. With people around the world able to watch the show, the Noxubee County man hopes the series will shine a light on the flaws in the justice system and prevent other innocent people from being wrongfully convicted.
I'm glad that everybody know the truth. You know, people have been calling me, you know, talking about, I seen the documentary, I was crying, and I said, okay, well, that's what we made it, you know, that we made it for the truth, so everybody can know, they know that about, not just only me, but all other people that locked up for something they ain't did either.
Despite everything that's happened, Brewer says he has no ill will towards anyone, but he says he does believe Mississippi owes him and the late LaVon Brooks an apology. Hear more from our exclusive interview with Brewer tonight on WCBI News at 9 and 10. An inmate serving time for a conviction out of Pontotoc County dies in a Jackson hospital this morning. 51-year-old Daryl King had been hospitalized at Merritt Central Health for the past several days. King was serving time at the Central Mississippi Correctional Facility in Rankin County for a 2019 methamphetamine possession conviction in Pontotoc County. An autopsy is being conducted. A former corrections officer at the women's prison in Aliceville pleads guilty to sexual assault charges. Adrian Stargell pled guilty to 2 counts of violating the rights of women and 1 count of making false statements to federal agents. Prosecutors say Stargell assaulted inmates on several different occasions. Stargell was an educational specialist at the federal correctional facility. He will be sentenced in August. A Columbus man is accused of shooting a house. Devontae Wells is charged with shooting into an occupied dwelling. Officers were called to the 200 block of Burns Circle about shots fired. Columbus Police Chief Fred Shelton says the shooting happened about 4 a.m. on Wednesday. Shelton says a domestic situation led to the gunfire. Wells turned himself in yesterday. As of this afternoon, he remained in jail. All right, Keith, another beautiful day, and looks like more's on tap.
We're on Easy Street for a while.
That's good.
So if you have one of these in your backyard, a pool, this is the time to get it ready to go. Tomorrow, upper 70s, bright sunshine, even warmer for your weekend. We'll talk about that next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
April is peak tornado season here in the Deep South, and today we actually do have a high risk for tornadoes climatologically speaking. Obviously not going to happen with all that sunshine, but the highest risk now as we get into May will start to shift back to the west across the high plains. So in 30 days, the severe weather and tornado risk locally will lower as the storms start to shift back out to the high plains. April is our busiest tornado month in Mississippi right here and also in Alabama. And once we get farther or further into May and then the summer months, we will have some more benign weather locally. Today, not too shabby. That's our time lapse from Louisville, Mississippi. Friendly clouds, no storms, no severe weather, nothing like that. A great day. We've got low 70s across the board. Still a bit breezy. Sustained now at 17 in Columbus, but the wind is going to relax. We have wall-to-wall sunshine across our region here. Lows tonight, mid to upper 40s, so a bit chilly, but we will take this over anything that could happen this time of year. We certainly know how rough it can be. And look at all of this sunshine. Just, it looks like egg yolks here across the board here for our forecast tomorrow. Widespread sunshine, upper 70s to around 80 degrees. The wind not as strong as today, about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So find a good place to be tomorrow. Find a good book and just go hang outdoors under a tree, do a little reading, relax if you don't have to do any work. It's looking like a great day for that kind of stuff here locally. A little bit cooler back to the northeast and much, much warmer back to the southwest. We mentioned this yesterday. Heat is building across the high plains, and that's coming our way for the weekend. So things are looking pretty good as we check out your futurecast here for our day Friday. High pressure is still in firm control. The wind will be light. And then that wind starts to become southerly as we get into your Saturday. And that will allow temperatures to climb back into the lower 80s. We may see a few friendly clouds around here during the course of the weekend. But overall, things are looking pretty good as we advance into your Sunday. Still pretty good. There will be a frontal boundary back to the north. I really don't think that particular front's going to get down here. Can't rule it out late Sunday or Monday, but at this point, moisture will be basically out of the forecast for the weekend into early next week. Our next best chance of rain looks to be sometime Tuesday or Tuesday night, and even that, just a 30% chance of rain. So picture perfect tomorrow, 78 degrees. Not as cool tomorrow night, 55. We're at 83 Saturday, 86 Sunday, mid to upper 80s, probably Monday into Tuesday. And then we'll come back to where we are now for the middle to end of next week, back into the mid to upper 70s. So all things considered, Joey, looking great for the next 7.
All right, thanks, Keith. Mississippi State basketball adding much needed depth to the roster. The latest from the transfer portal next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Mississippi State men's basketball has faced a mass exodus this offseason. Reggie Perry, Robert Woodard, and Nick Weatherspoon have all declared for the NBA draft. Senior Tyson Carter won't be back for the Bulldogs next year. 4 reserves from a year ago have transferred, but the Bulldogs picking up some reinforcement in the transfer portal. Louisiana grad transfer Jalen Johnson has committed to play for Ben Howland and the Bulldogs. Jeff Goodman was the first to report the news. The 6'7" forward averaged almost 16 points per game and 7 rebounds, being named the Sun Belt Newcomer of the Year this past season. Johnson will be joined by Western Kentucky transfer Tolu Smith as players who will be eligible for the Bulldogs in 2020, along with signees Cameron Matthews and Anderson Garcia. That remains 3 spots left on the roster for the Bulldogs. Robert Woodard has maintained his eligibility, so a return is possible. The deadline to withdraw from the NBA draft for a player is June 6th. For the first time in nearly 75 years, the Little League World Series has been canceled. That includes all regional and World Series play for the rest of 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The 2021 Little League World Series was planned to be the 75th year celebration. That celebration has now been pushed to 2022. But some good news. NASCAR is officially coming back. Actual Cup Series racing is set to return May 17th. Darlington Raceway will host the return of NASCAR. For the race at Darlington, there will be no qualifying or practice sessions. Reports say that the starting lineups will be set based on points. Qualifying will return for the Coke 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. No fans will be allowed to attend the races, and NASCAR has been entertaining the world with some e-NASCAR, as you see it on your screen, in the absence of racing. It'd be nice to get some tires back on the track, watch some live racing return. That's it for sports. The last look at your forecast next.
Gorgeous sunshine today. We'll do it again on Friday. A little bit warmer, though, upper 70s, and we'll take that wind down a few notches for your Saturday and Sunday, mid to maybe upper 80s here. Great way to start May. Our next best chance for any showers and storms probably sometime Tuesday afternoon or Tuesday night, Joey. So things are looking pretty good for a while.
We'll have to adjust to those 80s. You know, a lot of times we gripe around here, we don't actually have a spring. I think this time we have.
This has been one of the best springs for a while.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Have a good night.